Welcome to our first podcast.
Yes, first.
Thank you for joining us today. My name is Renee Goodwin. I am this is my co-host, Betty Smith Rose.
Yes.
Betty is the children's book author of Can I Have a Monkey? I am the children's book author of Gigi Life Lesson Storybook Series books. We call ourselves Team Gigi. Betty and I live in Tyler, Texas. It's the heart of East Texas. Many people know it as the Rose Capital of the world. We will post our Team Gigi podcast on our Team Gigi YouTube channel. So please look for it soon.
Thank you, Renee. Our theme this year is going to be committing ourselves to grow ourselves. So we're starting off 2022. Everyone may have made some New Year's resolutions, but we want this to be more than a New Year's resolution. So first of all, let's get a definition of the word commit and a definition of the word grow. So Renee, how would you define commit?
Well, as we were thinking about putting this together, I went to Webster.
That's a good source.
And according to Webster, the word commit, in the sense that we are using it for our discussion, says bind as by promise, bind as an engagement, or bind as involvement. Also, you can look at it as a dedication to a long-term course of action.
An example of a commitment might be like in your relationships, or maybe you're committed to your work, or committed to your writing like Renee and I are.
Right.
You can be committed to an organization, maybe you're committed to your church or your son's soccer team or daughter, something like that. But oftentimes we do think of relationships when we hear the word commitment. You might think about if a man asks a woman out for a date, sometimes he wants to know and he will ask, are you in a committed relationship? So if she says yes, then he probably doesn't have a chance. But if she says, well, sort of, then he knows that he can probably talk her into a date. Right. So that's kind of what I think of when I think of the word commitment. But how do we bind ourselves in looking at our definition? How do we promise ourselves or engage ourselves or involve ourselves? And how do we be dedicated over a long period of time, not just for the year 2022? What are your thoughts on that, Renee?
Well, I think that we need the whole part that we're talking about, commit yourself to grow yourself. So then I think we need to grow ourselves and have the full package. Because I do think that we need to look at it from mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually.
Yes.
So if we look at the word grow, Webster says,
yes.
To increase, to develop. So Betty, what do you think as far maybe an example of to increase, to develop?
Well, if you look at the word increase, you could increase your skills for one.
True.
Take a computer course if you need to. When I was young, I bought myself a typing book and taught myself how to type. I didn't take typing in high school, but later I needed to learn how to type.
Right.
So increase your skills could be taking a course at a university. Increasing could also be increasing your network. Get out more, make friends, make new friends. And since we're authors, we'll use that as an example. Take a writing class, go to the library, find out, maybe there's a group on Facebook that's near you. So that's ways to increase your territory, so to speak. Development could also be along the same lines as far as taking classes that's going to take you to another level. So that's a part of it, so they go together. You can also, if you look at it like mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, like you said for growth, then mentally, sometimes you just have to set your mind that you're going to do what you said you're going to do. And an example of that, recently I spoke at a local writers group seminar, and really while I was standing up there talking, I felt like I was talking to myself more than anyone else, because I was talking about the time, not having enough time to do this or enough time to do that. And so in my mind, I decided that day that from then forward, I'm going to put more effort into my own writing and take more classes myself and go to other writing seminars. So we have to start there in our mind.
So you said the key word start, the starting
Yes,
point.
exactly.
So first things first, commit, then commit to grow.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
everyone has a different starting point, don't you think?
Very true, very
don't you
true.
Think?
Yes.
And I look at it as everyone is created uniquely. We all are at different stages in our lives.
Yes, exactly.
We all have experienced certain things that now have brought us to this point in our lives. Or some people are just starting out
Yes.
in their careers. Some are just starting out in their education.
Yes.
And so it's everyone will approach that commit to grow in a different way.
Right, but wherever you are, start.
That's true.
Start from there, just wherever you are. If you want to be more educated, then go take some classes. I started taking computer classes for one of the first jobs that I ever had. No one in the office knew how to use a computer. I was like, I'm going to be the one. I know I can do it if someone would just show me how. And so I went and took computer classes on my own. And I remember I can see the other ladies still looking out. They were looking out their window at me where I was in the reception area. And they were like, how do you know how to do all that? Well, I was a step ahead of them, that's why. I went, took the initiative, did what I needed to do, and that's what you have to do sometimes, take initiative.
Because that's the miracle of being a human being. We can grow. We
Yes.
can grow ourselves 24/7.
Exactly.
I mean, it's really a non-stop.
Yes, it is.
You say?
Exactly. We lose brain cells every day, but we also gain new ones every day. And that's one of the best ways to help prevent so many of our brain cells dying, is to learn something new, take a class, go to a writing seminar, meet up with some other authors, maybe they're local in your area. Just connect with other people. A lot of times you go from there. That's your starting point, but then the next thing you know, you're off and running on your own. So it's important to connect with others.
So because when you grow, you have to face realities, okay? You know, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? And then when you grow, you may cause a few discomforts.
Exactly.
Along the way. Like, do I really understand what that professor's saying? Now what were they saying about
Exactly.
that different software?
Yes, exactly. And I know what you mean. My day job, I'm the program coordinator for the K-16 Literacy Center at UT Tyler. And so what I was thinking about when you said growth being uncomfortable sometimes, so I watch the babies when they're first born all the way up to where they're learning to crawl and they're learning to sit and they're all wobbly. And then when they start walking, they're clumsy and sometimes they don't want to let go of your hand. But it's all part of the developing process. It's part of growing. So they're going to bump their heads. One little toddler bumped their head twice in my office the other day. They're going to fall. That's how they learn to stay up, is by falling. So don't let past failures or anything like that keep you from doing the things that you want to do. You can start now. That's where we are today. We're starting off our new year the right way.
Right. And I will confess, we had a few challenges teaching ourselves how to film a podcast.
Exactly right.
So,
Renee said, we have to have iOS 15 or something. I was like, okay. And then later I thought, what is that? And then I figured out the operating system. She was talking about the version of the operating system. But at first, she said, do you want to? And I said, yes.
Yeah,
so
right. So
I believe in accepting opportunities, staying open, responsive, and if something's out there for you, just go for it.
And what Betty and I realized is like, wow, what rewards?
Yes,
What rewards?
exactly. So we're doing it. We're I'm not going to say how old we are, but we can still learn. So no matter what age you are, don't let that limit you either.
That's true. That's true. So as we were kind of getting into this and thought, okay, well, I looked at myself. Commit yourself to grow yourself, Renee. So how are you going to do that personally? Well, to commit, to be true to myself.
Yes. Always be true to yourself. Listen to your own heart.
I'm telling myself, be me. Share me. Enjoy me.
Exactly.
You know?
Right.
I mean, it's just, yes, I am up in my years, but
But like you said, we're all created uniquely.
and I'm fun.
She is fun. She cracks me up all the time.
And then, Renee, how to grow yourself? Well, understand myself